Talked about info objects, loading master data text and master data attributes.
Right.
Info objects, and we also discussed about different tables that are generated in the backend when you create an info object and load master data to it.
Right.
And we also discussed about info cube, how to design an info cube based on what factors you should estimate your dimensions. Did we?
Yep. We touched it.
Okay, we haven't created any info cube.
Yep. That's what I remember.
And here, before we create a cube, now basically we require transaction data. Info cube is always used to load transaction data at what level? Aggregated level. Basically, info cube aggregates the data when all characteristics are seen. When all characteristics are seen. Now, talking about date field. When do we take date as key figure? When do we take date as characteristics? Because date is available in both the objects.
Yeah.
Right? Now, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm hearing.
Okay. When you take date as a characteristic, if one record contains, let us take an example, date, trust ID, product purchased by customer, and quantity, price. Now, in this case 1, when we consider date as a characteristic, let's say today's date 06/04 A001 and 12/3/01, quantity 10, price is 6. Now, this customer on day 2 is purchasing one more product, A0, 302, or let's say 301, 10, and now as cube is designed to store aggregated data, not such detail level data.
Okay.
What we do, we consider here date as a characteristic.
Okay.
And now, out of these two fields, like month and date, I will take at the cube level only month.
Okay.
Okay. Now the
Yep.
characteristics will be, in the first case at the cube level, characteristics will be cal month, cust ID, product, quantity, price. So how does cube stores? Month is 06, 301 is the product, 20, A001 is the cust ID, 301 is the product, quantity 20, revenue 20, aggregated data.
Yeah.
If I have another 4 records in the same month with the same customer ID, then all those records will be aggregated.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say on month 7, the same customer has purchased same product, and the system will store it as a debit. Now here, one character has been changed, right?
Yeah.
But if you consider date as a time period, like key figure, if you consider date as a key figure,
Yeah.
then even though month changes, system will not consider it as a character because we defined it as a key figure. So in that case, in case 2, how does the system store? In case 2, system stores A001, 301 is the product, quantity 20, quantity 30, and price 30. Because we do not have an option of creating gal month as a character.
Okay.
Okay? It is a key.
Yeah.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
This is how system stores.
Right.
The difference between considering date as a character and a key figure.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, let us design our cube. To design our cube, we need transaction data. I have some sample transaction data that is available on my system in the Slack file.
Okay.
Here is the sample data I have in my Slack file. Now, to load this data, I need customer ID, product group, quantity, price. In the previous case, when I am loading master data, I have created customer ID, quantity, and price as well. I'll use the same info objects for this. But I have 2 new objects, product ID and product group. Maybe product ID may contain master data. But in my case, I haven't loaded any master data for product ID yet.
Right.
Basically, it is always suggested to master data load first and then go for transaction data.
Okay.
Why we have to load master data first and then transaction data? Did we talk about this?
Well, if we don't do it, I think probably system might create these tables, right?
Yeah, system has already created tables. But remember, an SID table is there between master data and transaction data.
Right, right.
The SID generations will take place at the time of loading transaction data if master data is not loaded.
I'm sorry, if master data is not stored,
Not loaded.
not loaded, okay.
No.
Okay, yeah.
SID table will be generated when you load master data first. And master data is always limited. So we can put some more burden during the load process of master data, which is generating SIDs.
Right. Yeah, that is exactly true.
Yeah. But when you talk about transaction data, it is always in huge volumes. The load process is already slow. And if you generate SIDs at the same time, and the load process once again will be effective. So to avoid such performance effects, we load master data first and then transaction.
Okay.
Or else, no harm in loading transaction data first. It's only the effect of performance.
Yeah.
You can load transaction data first and then master data for our practice. But in real time in production system, always load master data first.
Okay.
Right? Now here, let me see. I have customer ID, but I am missing with two info objects here. One is product ID and product group. So I'll create those two info objects. What was the number we were placing?
Sorry, what is that, Madan?
For identification, for uniqueness, we were placing one number at the end, right?
One number. Yeah.
68, 69, 70.
Okay.
So that it is unique. Product ID. Continue. Okay, as it has come up, let's talk about this package. Basically, whatever development you do, by default, they will be under $temp. This $temp is a local package. This $temp is a local package. If you do not define your package, by default, they will be $10.
Okay.
Whatever packages, whatever developments that you have done, if you are storing it in the local package $temp, these are not transportable.
Okay.
You cannot create a transport request for this development which are available in local package. However, during our development stages, we have a package created by basis team. By default, they will be in $temp, but still we have a package created by basis team.
Okay.
Which we can use for our storing developments.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll store it in the local package. Later, when we require it, we can change it in transport connections.
Okay.
Now my info object has been created. One more. We will talk about that when we talk about transport connections.
Sure.
Now this product ID and product group are generated. I'll go to info provider, right click on the info area, select create info cube, Z cube, info cube to load transaction data. And then click on create. By default, the cube will be standard cube, and standard cube stores physical data. However, you have virtual cube which will not store any data physically. Okay. So here the option is inactive.
But why do, so if that is the case, what do we do with the virtual cube, Madan?
See, basically, when you have data into the other system, when you have data in the other system and you create and export the data source in the other BI system. In some cases, clients have two BI systems. One is he might be using for planning and consolidation, and other one is he might be using for sales. But some cases you need to build a report which is having a data in the info cube which exists in system 1, and also from you have to pull the data from the cube which exists in system 2.
Okay.
Either you generate report on system 1 or system 2. You need to get the data from one system to other system, right?
Yeah.
If you are generating reports on system 2, then we create and export the data source on system 1.
Okay.
And store data physically in system 2. That is choice 1.
Okay.
And the other choice is, if you create a virtual provider in system 2, which is accessing data of system 1 cube.
Okay.
Virtual provider is also an input.
Okay.
Already you have implemented your business logics in cube 1 during the business transformations. And now it's just a copy where you don't want to store your data physically, wasting much space. Right? During the report execution time, virtual provider pulls the information from cube 1 of system 1 and gives you the report.
Okay.
But the performance is very, very badly affected with virtual providers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. It's an additional option. Basically, within the system also we use virtual providers. Like if you have data in the cube at one aggregated level, but still at the time of pulling information you want to implement more business logic,
Okay.
which you haven't implemented during transformations.
Okay.
which you can also implement during report execution on the report end, in the front end. But front end execution will affect performance badly when compared to back end execution of your business logic.
Okay.
Let's say, let's take a simple example. I have quantity and price, and I want to calculate net sales. This net sales can be calculated at the report level as well. This is a simple calculation.
Yeah.
Right? That can be done at the report level. But what if you have some of the complex calculations or some of these complex business logics need to be implemented, which are not available in the cube to get some values?
Yeah.
You can also implement those at the report level, but still your report execution slows down.
Oh, okay. So if we pull the data from the cubes and then do some calculation during the report generation, that slows down.
Query
right?
execution? Yeah.
Okay. So then obviously the solution is do all the calculations and then put it in a table?
In a cube. Mostly in a cube.
In a cube, yes, yeah, in a cube, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll discuss about that. See, why we are storing such a high level data at cube level. Do we have any other option to store detail level data?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sure.
Right. So here now I'm going to design my cube where I have customer ID, product ID, and product group. Click on create. Now here, by default, cube will have 3 dimensions: data package, time, and unit. Okay?
Okay.
For time, you will add time characteristics like date. However, this dimension can be empty. And unit dimension can be empty. But from the 4th dimension, you require at least one key figure, and one custom dimension to create your info cube. So here, by default, the name of the 4th dimension will be dimension 1. If you want to change the name, right click on it, go to properties, and I'll take it as a description as customer. Or what I can do is I can directly delete the dimension 1 and then create a new dimension for customer.
Okay.
Now I want to create the 2nd dimension, which is for product.
Okay.
Create new dimension. Product. Now on my analysis I have categorized the data into 2 categories. One is for customer and the other one is for product. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Now what I'll do, click on the info object catalog.
Okay.
Info object catalog. Double click on the CAD catalog. And now expand characteristics. Here add customer ID to customer dimension.
Okay.
And then product ID and product group to product dimension.
Okay.
So now key figures. Again same info object catalog, double click on key figures, expand key figures, quantity and revenue to the key figures. As soon as I add quantity and revenue, in the unit folder you have 0 unit and 0 currency added by default.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on what basis I am choosing my dimension? On what basis I have added customer ID and product group to another dimension called product.
Right.
At the time of designing your InfoCube, you should keep in mind that the size of the dimension table must be always less than 20% of the fact table. Have we discussed about fact tables?
Fact tables, yeah.
Okay, fine. Basically, fact tables belongs to InfoCube, and these fact tables are surrounded by dimension tables. Dimension tables of the InfoCube contains dimension IDs and associated SIDs where it has its original value of the customer ID.
Okay.
Whereas fact table contains only key figure values.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And as the dimension table is containing only characteristics, so always we should take care that each new record of the characteristic will have one dimension ID. Let's say here I have added customer ID to customer dimension.
Right.
If I have n number of customers,
Yeah.
then I will have n number of records, n number of unique customers. When I say n number of customers, it's always unique, n number of unique customers. For every unique customer ID, dimension table will contain one dimension ID.
Okay. Regardless of how many transactional records are there, even if there are no transactional records, but it can have one dimensional record, right?
Not possible. See, if there is no transaction, you mean to say like when there is no records in the fact table, still dimension table contains one dimension ID. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, right.
Basically, when does a dimension ID is generated in the dimension table? Let's take our previous example. This A001 is the customer. When I load this record to the InfoCube, a dimension ID will be generated for A001. But however, master data for customer ID is already available in the system, right?
Right.
So, dimension ID will be generated only at the time of loading this record. When I load this record, I'll have customer dimension table, product dimension table, and fact table.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I load the first record, SID and DIM ID will be available in customer dimension table, which belongs to dimension ID belongs to A001. Let's say S01 is the SID and D01 is the dimension ID of A001. And this S01 contains the actual value in the master table, which is A001.
Okay.
Okay? And now, similarly product with the combination of product ID and product group. So it will have two SID values, SID1 and SID2, and DIM ID. Why two SID values in the product table? Product dimension? Because I have two characteristics.
Yeah, product and and then product group.
Yeah.